welcome to the AstroEnergy Astrology Show on Blog Talk Radio with me, Astrologer Shelley Overton. Each week we go over the planetary positions, discuss astrology, and take callers' questions. If you would like to call in and get a reading, you can call 347-994-3365. Call in early as the lines fill up. Hello and welcome to the October 30th edition of the AstroEnergy Astrology Show. You are here with me, Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida, and I am very happy to be with you today. We have a sunny sky. Oh my goodness, it's gorgeous here. It's it's going to be 82 degrees. It's 73 degrees and no clouds whatsoever here, and low humidity. Very excited for that. It has been a very long summer of heat and humidity. So we're going to have a really lovely day today, and I am going to really enjoy it. So anyway, I hope it's lovely where you are. We are going to talk astrology today. We've got a lot of different planets doing a lot of different things here, and I've got the current chart up in Orlando. So if you want to get that up on your computer, I don't know if you know how to do that without a software program, but I can tell you if you go to astro.com, or actually even a better one, ALABE.com, ALAB, or ALAB. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but it is a wonderful website to do free charts on. So if you're interested in looking at what's going on now, they usually have a current chart that you can just click on and see what's going on. You can follow along with me. So today we have the moon at 23 degrees Cancer, so heightened interest in being around the home. I can tell you my daughter has felt a little under the weather yesterday and today. And part of that is because we had the windows open, it's so beautiful, and the smoke, people were burning fires because it was down to 50 degrees 2 days ago. And so I think that kind of triggered it. But having that energy, moon in Cancer, can make us want to be home more. And my daughter, I think, definitely wants to be around the house a little bit more right now. Not that she's not sick. She's kind of mildly sick, but I think that more of it's just senioritis and wanting to be home. So the moon in Cancer will bring out those kind of feelings for us because Cancer rules the home, hearth, family, domesticity, baking, cooking, anything that's involved in the home. Now, being at 23 degrees, that means that the moon will move into a new sign today at 10:42 p.m. Eastern and 7:42 Pacific. And for England, that will be about 4 p.m., 4:42 p.m. So it's going to be a great day. I mean, for me, it falls on my Mars, which is in Cancer, late degree, and my Venus, which is in late degree Leo. So today's probably going to be a pretty good day for me. If you know where your moon is, then you can also plan plan for the days that are going to be good for you when the moon conjuncts planets of yours and triggers that energy. So today it's about home and hearth, and that's where I spend my day today. And then opposing, just past an opposition, so it was in the middle of the night, but just past a direct opposition to Pluto, but there is still some energy of it. That means that Pluto is in Capricorn at 18 degrees. And Pluto in Capricorn, as you know, if you've listened to the show, means that it's about major change around the psychology and deep visceral emotions related to structure, authority, being in your own personal power and authority. And so having that opposite the moon, it can work in synergy, which means together and cooperative, or it can be in opposition. And opposition means that we're going to have things happening with our career that seem to be drawing us or pulling us psychologically away from the home. And it also means that really what we want right now is to be at home and nurturing ourselves, where there may be more things to do at work and in our career. excuse me. So we've also got Saturn at 4 degrees, and Saturn's moving fairly slowly in the sky. It seems like, Saturn went in December of last year, and because he retrograded, went into Capricorn, that is, he was at 1 degree Capricorn at the beginning of the year. He's only at, because of the retrograde, 4 degrees. So he's only made it through 4 degrees this year as opposed to next year. Let's see what next year is going to be like. Next year, Capricorn, Saturn will be at 11 going into the year, and will be at 21 at the end of the year. So he's going to move 11 degrees next year, but only 4 this year. So that's a big difference in speed astrologically. He's going to be in the first 10 degrees, which is the first decade. If you think about it, decade, 10 years, decade, 10 degrees. So the first 10 degrees of a sign is the area of the sky that is ruled by that particular sign. So whenever you're born, whatever degree your rising is in can be where it influences your energy, your outlook, how people see you by that decade. So right now we have an 18-degree Sagittarius rising. So that's the middle section, which means that it's the second fire sign of the zodiac ruling that, and the fixed energy. So fixed means you're digging your heels in. And then the next fire sign would be Aries. So that's the Aries decade at this very moment. So it's a very powerful, intense energy going on right now, very fiery and driven. And so Sagittarius energy at 18 degrees is going to dig its heels in. It's going to call it like it is. It's going to want to be on the go and active and connected to other people. And it sees its world as how everyone sees it. And of course, we all feel that way with our sense of self, because we only live this life from one point of view, and that's our point of view. But Sagittarius is probably, with the Aries decade, is in a very intense, self-motivated energy. So you're going to see that in the next couple hours as Sagittarius comes up and goes around on the wheel of the rising sign. So I don't want to digress too much into that kind of explanation, because there is a lot to be able to teach people if they want to understand astrology. And I'm just going to put in a little plug here. If you are interested in having private lessons, let me know, because I do private lessons. And I will be, I know I've talked about this for a couple of years, so it's a matter of having the time to do it and get it out there. But I do want to have a class where I teach. And I have had classes in the past that are recorded, so maybe I should just throw that up people to listen to. You can learn from it as well. But anyway, I do private lessons. So you can go to Astrologer Angel for that, or Angelic Zodiac. So having Saturn in Capricorn right now, hang on one second. Sorry about that. Saturn in Capricorn is about the structure and was opposite the moon yesterday. So we felt this energy since yesterday. It is moving forward. Again, it's very slow moving, but it will join up with Pluto early 2019. So this coming year is going to be a strong year of a combination. It's going to stay in the first 10 degrees most of the year. So it is still an initiating energy around structures. Towards the end of the year, it will get into the next decade. So it's going to really be digging the feet in of authority. So kind of the way I've been really coping with what's going on in the political system right now is knowing that it is the time of Capricorn. The 2.5 years of Saturn in Capricorn mean that people are experiencing the energy of Capricorn, the awareness of authority figures, the awareness of the hierarchy and the structure and the system that we have in this country. And of course, like I said, the country was founded with a late degree Pluto. So as we go through this next year, we are seeing that restriction that Saturn and Capricorn can give. And we're seeing the government tighten the reins around us. And as time moves on over the next 2 years, it is wrapping up the energy of this story. This narrative is being laid bare, so to speak, by this cluster of planets in Scorpio. And Uranus moving into Taurus also is a conservative energy, but Uranus wants to change mentality. Uranus in an earth sign is also talking to Capricorn and the energy that goes through Capricorn, and it's talking to the energy of Virgo, which is an older generation, the generation of the early 60s to the late 60s. So those people are really feeling this in a grand trine energy, and probably more so very aware of the shift needed around hierarchical structures. But that being said, Saturn is still not conjunct Pluto and still just coming into this area of the zodiac, this area of the sky, that is triggering a heightened interest in control. And so we're seeing a lot more of that in politics and what's going on with politics. So I'm really hoping everyone can hear me. It looks like you can. So I'm going to cross my fingers and keep going. If people start falling off the call wait, I'll know that there may be a problem. But for now, it looks pretty good. And we'll just keep moving on. So Mars is at 20 degrees Aquarius. He is in the very beginning degree 20 of the third decan, which is the last air sign of Libra, and that's about cooperation. So what Mars does is he takes action. He has drive. He motivates us. In Aquarius, he motivates us for entrepreneurial endeavors. He motivates us for science. He motivates us for technology. He motivates us for finding out more about electrical matters. Items that are electrical may act quirky at this time. And also it can mean glitches in large-scale grid energy, electricity, internet, anything like that, any communications, technology around phones and lighting systems, I mean, whatever. If it relates to electricity, it's up for debate with Mars and Aquarius. He wants us to immerse ourselves in all the realms that he oversees. So part of that is also humanitarianism. He wants everyone to get along. And in the third decan of Libra, Libra wants to connect people to other people and be the diplomat. So we are entering I want to say about a week, maybe a little bit longer. Let me look here and see when he goes into Pisces. I think it might be 2 weeks before he enters Pisces. Yeah, the 16th. So about the last 2 weeks, or the beginning 2 weeks, of November, we're really pushing towards more cooperation and humanitarianism in our motivations. So Mars today is in conjunct the moon. Fortunately, the moon's just 3 degrees past in conjunct, which means it's pulling away from the energy. But earlier, like between midnight and the current time, we had that in conjunct. So that is unusual electrical events around the home. And it could also mean flooding of electrical items. It could mean dropping your phone in the toilet, things like that. I mean, just a very unfortunate energy for quick moving things, things that are electrical, connected to water, connected to taking action. So it usually means it's a disturbance. It's something uncomfortable that honestly, I don't even know if there's a lesson attached to that one. It's just something that happens that disrupts our worlds. And the moon opposing Pluto, it's a major shift around that item. So, whatever that reflects in your world. It can also mean unexpected opportunities with a job that didn't turn out the way you thought it would, things like that. Okay, let's get on to other planets. So Jupiter is at 28 Scorpio. Jupiter is on the precipice of shifting signs. He's about 11 days away from moving in to Sagittarius. We are feeling it already. I think last week I mentioned something about Uranus also in conjunct to Jupiter and a heightened acting out, more aggressive behavior, more of these gun events that have been happening, the Aries influenced energy that Uranus is on the precipice of going back into Aries. So, of course, that's getting triggered. And last week we had this unfortunate event at a synagogue in Pittsburgh. So we are experiencing that again. I think that, well, number one, we are going to experience it because Uranus is so close. He's within 17 degrees of going back into Aries, and astrologically, 17 minutes, not 17 degrees. So a minute of time is different between the planets. So a minute of time for Mercury is not a minute of time for Uranus. It's a longer minute. So to give you an idea, Uranus goes into Aries on the 6th of November, and he has 17 minutes of time to travel to there. So it's a week in Uranus time. So that kind of gives you a little bit of idea how long it is. And he's going to be going to Aries, like I said, last degree. So the energy of Uranus and Aries last degrees is wrapping up the story around Aries and Uranus. Uranus doesn't want to be told what to do. Aries is male energy, male assertiveness, male aggression. It is emergency workers. It is events surrounding the expression of the male ego, the male agenda, anything masculine that we consider to be traditionally masculine. So Uranus is also the planet of alternative lifestyles. So that can bring in friction around understanding that agenda or dealing with it. So it can mean that there may be events associated with LGBT community. So this is just a little bit of understanding of how to interpret. It's not meant to bring fear to your world. It's more like when you see the energies of planets, you can infer based on what we know astrologically through millennia of understanding. And now, as the transits interact, we can see how the planets might incline behavior. So Uranus at this degree will be in square to the moon tonight after, like I said, around 10:30, 10:42, I believe it was, tonight Eastern time. The moon will directly square Uranus. And there is also opposition to the south node in Aquarius and a conjunction to the north node in Leo. So this is also an unexpected event. It is something around Leo, which is ego. It's being in the spotlight. It may involve a celebrity or a person who wants fame of some sort. And there's an emotional connection. There may be an emotional connection to a father figure. And it's squaring Uranus. So it's about wanting power, wanting an agenda. Again, what happened at the synagogue probably was also a connection to the same energy, but the difference is tonight with the square with the moon, it will be more associated, whatever events happen, will, if there is one, which there likely will be, it's going to be associated with expressing something associated with a creative endeavor, with could be inclusion of children, and definitely something that is associated with almost like a materialistic right to behave a certain way. This can also exacerbate what's gone on with the border issues around children. You know, it's going to be a Leo moon. That means children are involved, or creativity, relationships. There may be a disgruntled partner coming forward with their views of things. So you just pull in the energy, the archetypes, the rulership, the realm of the planet, the sign, and the house that they're in. And what are they doing? How are they approaching the energies coming up? And so having this energy, the nodes are nodes of fate. So something is significant for the collective. South Node in Aquarius is the collective. And then the moon is our emotions. Again, it's a waning moon, so it's something is going away. You can infer that some energy is being pulled back, but yet it's uncomfortable and we don't want to deal with it on some level. And then there's also a square to Venus right now. Venus goes into Libra again, and so that is about cooperation, about connecting to other people. We have, again, the last big energy through their slower moving planet was Jupiter in Libra. Of course, Jupiter is about to finish time in Scorpio, so that's a decision-making energy. But when Jupiter was in Libra a year ago at this late degree, it was about understanding how we give up our sense of self for the collective, so the codependent energy. So having the moon squaring Venus, femininity, cooperation, and also squaring the nodes of fate and Uranus, the collective grand cross in these energies, are triggering some understanding of the feminine in the collective, understanding personal freedom and power, doing things that are unexpected while creating something new and having a deep emotional connection to that. So we see this energy culminating this evening. And then Venus does go into Libra this weekend. What are we in? We're only in Tuesday. It's actually even sooner than that. So Mercury enters Sagittarius tonight at, well, early morning hours, 12:38 a.m. Wednesday morning Eastern, and then 9:38 p.m. Pacific. And then tomorrow is Halloween, so it starts out the day with that Mercury entering Sagittarius. So it's collective connection, communication and connection with foreign energy. It's a good time to sell a house, though, or having Mercury in Sagittarius may be a time we want to sell a house. Then we have an opposition of the moon to Uranus at 4:45 a.m. We have Venus entering Libra at 3:42 a.m. tomorrow on Halloween. And so Venus entering Libra is about cooperation. It is in degrees, so she is reliving some past codependence. I can tell you that's kind of potential in my life right now. I hope it doesn't happen, but it is a potential. And then we're going to be reliving that connection to how we are receptive and in our feminine, maybe dependent as women have been seen archetypally dependent, and the dynamic, the polarity of men and women, or authority and subservient, is that masculine feminine dynamic historically. So part of our growth lessons in astrology is how we integrate what we project and what we believe to be our reality. And honestly, polarities in astrology and polarities in life are really heightened right now because we are projecting. This is a very huge thing I wanted to touch on this week, the polarity and projection. Uranus in Taurus, retrograding back into Aries, very strong global energy that's affecting everyone around how we see ourselves, masculine Aries and feminine Taurus. And because Aries is ruled by Mars, Taurus is ruled by Venus, it's very much about gender identity or even gender roles in society, because Aquarius rules that collective consciousness. So, or collective conscience, collective consciousness. So we've got this strong energy dynamic this weekend in particular around roles, around gender, around masculine versus feminine, and how we have integrated that in recent months, because Venus, of course, has followed up Jupiter's path through Scorpio. Mercury was there. Mercury is going into Sagittarius, wrapping up the Scorpio agenda, and then going into Sag before he goes retrograde and does get back to this degree. So what happens now will be revisited for revision and collective consciousness shift of some sort. Just looking at what's going on here. So he moves into a cooperative sign. So Mercury in Sagittarius at early degrees is an actually cooperative energy to the nodes of fate. It is going to be in a little bit of a difficult friction to Mars. So it should be an interesting weekend and rest of the week and into the weekend with this energy shifting. So let's see what else is going on. So the sun in Scorpio, it's funny because I've been going through this with my daughter. And I kind of ended that segment a little too soon. This is the tangential energy of an astrologer. Everything leads to everything else. But so anyway, to wrap up what I wanted to say, I've been noticing a lot of projection in society, and projection means that there's an energy that is projected out into your environment. And there's a Buddhist concept called Eshofuni, which is oneness of person and environment. We cannot detach ourselves from our environment. It is always there with us. It is always a reflection of us. And so when we look at someone and say, oh, they're doing this or that, well, you're the person experiencing that. You're seeing it. You're processing it through first person point of view. So when you see it, it is a part of you. And when we project, we're basically calling out things around us and saying that it's not ours. And that's kind of what's going on to the hilt right now, even more so than normal, that everyone is pointing fingers and saying, you're like this and you're like this. Well, I have concluded that whatever is going on in politics is pretty much a projection. So that means that whoever says you're this and you're that is really saying that's what they are. They're just trying to bring it out because our environment right now is very much a reflection of who we are. So if we're not liking what we're seeing, it's because that's part of what we have in us as a collective. So we need to change that. And this is going to be my little plug for going to vote. Please go vote. Please don't let yourself forget to vote or not fill out the forms or not do what you need to do. I know a few people in my environment who just let it slip, and it's so utterly important right now to get that opinion heard. And remember that our democracy runs on the opinion of the people, and the people are the ones that are able to make it happen. So anyway, that's my little segment, I suppose, on projection and society. So getting back to the Scorpio energy coming into Halloween. Halloween is particularly enhanced, I believe, this year by the energy of its ruling planet, which is Scorpio, or ruling sign, which is Scorpio. The sun is always in Scorpio for Halloween, but this year we also have Venus in Scorpio, we have Jupiter in Scorpio, and we have Mercury in Scorpio. Amazingly enough, Mercury is ahead of Jupiter, and Jupiter's at 28 degrees, and they're both in Scorpio, so that Mercury is the last degree. Again, a 17 coming up in that. A lot of teen numbers around the zodiac, 13, 18, 17 minutes, with Mercury at 29 degrees, 17 minutes. Remember I said Uranus is 0 degrees and 17 minutes. So they're both really ready to pop here. The next 2 weeks is going to be a lot of shift of energy. It'll be good and bad. We're going to have Mercury go into a sign and shift, and that means that Mercury wants to talk about what he's just seen through slogging through the dark recesses of Scorpio. So starting late tonight and into tomorrow, we are going to see a shift. And the shift is away from the dark and the depressive into a little bit more of the manic and action-driven. So it's going to be off to the races, in my opinion. Honestly, it's funny because this year it seems like all the holidays at the end of the year are getting overlapped, and part of that is probably because the planets are moving so fast and we are seeing a lot of different energies that rule different things that relate to those particular holidays. So Saturn in Capricorn is all about tradition and Christmas. We've got Scorpio, which is Halloween, and of course, let's see, Sagittarius would be the planet. Yeah, Sagittarius into Capricorn is going to rule Thanksgiving. Oh, no, excuse me, Scorpio into Sagittarius. There we go. So we've got a lot of shifts of the energies right now drawing us to different focuses. So, yeah, we've got a lot of energy around Halloween from the Scorpio, and that is always ghosty ghoulies, mediumship, kind of the ugly side of life that seems to be percolating so much in our world right now. It is going to shift. We've got Venus. She's still going to have some time in Scorpio this year after she goes back direct. So she'll be back in Scorpio in December. So it's going to definitely spill over into December and having a little bit darker, negative view of things, the Gothic mentality. We have Mercury in Sagittarius for good in the middle of December, on December 13th. And of course, Mercury is going to spend half of the month of November in Sagittarius and going back to the beginning degrees of Sagittarius, and then the majority of December will be Sag, but there's going to be about 2 weeks at the beginning of December. Let me just see, 12 days. 12 days with Scorpio, Mercury. So there's still some Scorpio through the end of the year. Jupiter moves into Sagittarius, let's see, November 9th. So a lot of Sagittarius energies coming before the end of the year, but still wrapping up the old psychological issues, the emotional issues we've been dealing with. My goodness, I'm worn out. So I'm just going to take a little chill break here, and we're going to take callers. And welcome back. I hope you got a little something to drink and took a few breaths and relaxed. I relaxed. I enjoyed that. I kind of prepped a little bit for the upcoming calls. But anyway, my name is Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. If you would like a private reading with me, you can get me at angeliczodiac.com. I'm also on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. If you type in Artful Shelley on YouTube, you can see my YouTube channel. And I'm on Patreon. You can get me at Astrologer Angel. See, Astro Shelley, I believe, is the name there. But just type in Angelic Zodiac or Astrologer Angel, or any of those probably get you on Patreon as well. If you would like to donate and help out with the costs of the show, that would be lovely. Anyway, let's get to the callers and see what we have going on out in the world. 262. Hi, 262. How are you? Is this Michelle? Uh-oh, Michelle, you're on mute. Are you there? Okay, we'll come back to you. Oh, well. Let's see. 863. Let's see if 863 is there. Hi, 863. How are you?
I am here. Hey, Shelley, it's Beth.
Hi.
How are you?
Beth, yeah, I'm good. How are you? You said you're
Great.
good.
So first of all, I wanted to speak to what you were saying about getting a private reading for everybody out there, or in Friday lessons like we had. Everybody out there, Shelley and I live within about 50 miles of each other in Central Florida, and I had a private lesson with her a couple of weeks ago, and it was fantastic. So I'm looking forward to another one.
Aw. You're so awesome. I thought you were in Nepal.
Not yet. Tomorrow, and that's why I'm calling.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so
my
tomorrow
gosh.
I live on Halloween Day, and there is all sorts of crap happening in my astrology chart for that.
Yes.
So I just wanted to call and let you just take a look, and you can, do I need to be cautious of wild yaks, or what may possibly be coming my way?
Right. Yeah. What time do you leave? Do you know what time the flight is?
We leave from Orlando, so we'll be heading your way early in the morning. So we leave out of there about 6. We get to Kennedy within a couple of hours, and we're there for 2 hours. And then we head from there to Qatar. Let's see, whatever. I can't remember the name of Doha, Qatar, or Qatar, and we that will be a 14-hour flight there, and then we go from there for another 5-hour flight into Kathmandu, Nepal. So.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Yeah.
yeah.
That's a lot. Well, it's you have a couple in conjuncts, which are the uncomfortable energies I was just kind of mentioning. Venus is in Scorpio, and she's in conjunct to Uranus, which of course is technology, and it isn't my favorite. It isn't my favorite time. Do you have another flight? Is that correct? Out of Kennedy?
Yeah, out of Kennedy.
Do you know?
We leave. Yeah, tomorrow. I don't remember exactly what time. We leave from here 6-ish, get there 8:30ish, and then we're there from 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, or maybe around 11ish. We leave from there to Qatar, and so that's 14 hours. So.
Yeah, that's a lot. Let me just look at what happens for the second leg. I'm just gonna call it like I see it. You do have some difficult aspects, so you're gonna have difficulty. Let me look. Let's see, 11 a.m. Sagittarius is travel. Mercury. The good thing that I see is that Mercury enters Sagittarius, which of course is travel. It rules travel, and it's also technology. So communications are ruled by Mercury. It's in conjunction with Uranus, which says that overriding technology can be difficult while you want to take action, you want things to happen. There could be something that creates a glitch in the larger scheme of things that kind of is a domino effect coming down on you. And having a positive moon, so the moon will be at 7 degrees. Let's see, the first leg of it is at 4 degrees of Leo. The second leg is at 7. So, it's in positive aspect to Mercury. It's a trine. I will tell you that there can be difficulties with that as well, but I would say that it's more positive. Definitely Mercury in Sagittarius is kind of like, well, what are you going to do? I can't do anything about it, so I'll just go with the flow. So you're going to feel that. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, so Mercury does answer to Jupiter in late degrees of Scorpio, and it's in conjunct to Uranus. So I want to tell you, Uranus is about unexpected things. It is in the sign of Taurus, which is the material goods. So I want you to be aware of how you pack, where you put your packages, where are your luggage. Make sure that I would honestly say split up things that you need to survive from your checked luggage to your carry-on, and make sure that you have, I would even honestly put cash in both places so that, or some means of supporting yourself in case your luggage checked gets lost. You have something in your purse, and I would honestly, or a backpack. I would even put clothing in both. I would literally split it into 2 factions so that you have survival means in both if you're without travel, like credit cards are his and hers, like just spread out the love. Okay. And yeah, because if you're without your luggage because of some material glitch or whatever, you're going to want to have that. Anyway, okay. So just expect that there could be difficulties, okay? Because it's heightened. I'm looking at the chart. Uranus is at the center of 3 inconjuncts, 1 to Venus, about to change signs again into Libra, and then 2, 1 about to change signs and 1 that just does change signs into the sign of travel. So it's interesting that that is the date you picked to go, because it's like, we do things for reasons that are also guided by planetary energy. So you felt some kind of visceral life shift that needed to be expressed somehow. Again, oneness of person and environment. So this is something that you chose to experience, and it is going to be a major psychological shift and energy that you need to experience. There's an inconjunct of the moon to Saturn, so 150 degrees away from each other. So again, Saturn is restrictive energy, and the moon in Leo wants to be creative and bubbly and excitable and going and having fun, and Saturn wants to make you very somber and pragmatic and practical. So you're going to have a combination of both. The moon is in positive aspect to Mercury, so the mental outlook, I think, is going to be pretty positive in the face of difficulty, which is a good thing for travel. You want that. There's a square, the square of the moon to Uranus, which, again, the material planets in the zodiac, the ones in material signs, are not happy with the ones in action taking. So there's going to be an attempt to keep you on the ground. And let's see. Yeah, and then again, the moon and Mercury are in fire signs, and the earth signs are cool energy of earth. So there's kind of a difficulty of friction between fire and earth. And I mean, I'm not saying that you're going to have a fire somewhere, but there is that kind of like wanting to be the energy of the Saturn and Uranus energy is wanting to be grounded, and the mental and emotional energy wants to be going. So there could be some friction there. And then you have Mars in Aquarius, so it answers to Uranus. So right now, Mars has no planetary interactions specifically to major planets or even the minor planets. It's not showing it. I'm seeing, let me look harder. It's a 20. Anyway, I'm at risk of going into an in-depth reading here.
I'll bet you are.
I've given you an eyeball, and that's kind of what you've got. You've got a little bit of difficulty from people who aren't necessarily cooperative in the position of authority. Okay. So plan accordingly. You may be restricted from powers beyond your control, and so plan to have your needs backed up if something goes on with the material goods in your world. That's my best advice to you. Okay.
That's wonderful. I'm going to try to do that and just hope that it's minimal.
Well, and also Mercury in Sagittarius is about expansion of your spiritual realm, and you're going to Nepal. So you're in alignment for the understanding of something bigger, and that's going to set up all the Jupiter and Sagittarius energy. Is going to set up the Mercury retrograde. So you've got some stuff going on. Pack for an extended stay, an unexpected extended stay. And I know you're going for a long time anyway, but you never know. So just will do that. Practical. Okay, be practical.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm going to try to do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care, Beth. You're in my thoughts. And if there's any way to contact me via social media, please do. I'm Artful Shelley on Instagram or email or anything. Just let me know. Check in, because I'll be thinking about you. All right?
Is there anything you want me to do for you, like stick out a prayer flag for you or anything?
Oh my gosh, if you could stick out a prayer flag, heck yeah. Or any, prayer beads or whatever. Any, get me, I'll even reimburse you if you want to get me a little token. It doesn't have to be expensive. Just a little token of Nepal would do. Like incense.
I will do that.
Incense would be great.
I will.
Okay?
Okay, I will do that.
I love it. Thank you so much, Beth. You take care.
Thank you, Shelley.
All right. All my
bye-bye.
good thoughts with you and prayers. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Oh, bye. Anyway, that was awesome. Okay, let's go back to Michelle, see if she's there. Hi, Michelle, are you there? Or caller 262? Okay. You had your hand up, but you're not answering. I'll probably check in again before the end of the show. So 715, hi, who is this?
Hi, Sally. This is Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer. Have you called before?
I have, and I got a new phone number. I talked to you in May, actually, right before I went to Nepal.
Oh, my goodness. Seriously? Today's Nepal
Yeah.
Day. Awesome.
Yeah.
So Jupiter in Sagittarius is coming in. So that exactly personifies the whole energy of Mercury in Sagittarius. What is the prefix, the area code for the last number? 920?
920. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I literally just stumbled on it. I saw 920 Jennifer. I'm like, there she is. That's so amazing. You could have been anywhere, but I just happened on you. Okay, so what can I do for you today?
I guess so. I was listening to your show from last week about the moon in Taurus, and I guess just anything you see with me there. I guess anything you're seeing in my chart right now.
Okay, yeah. You have a natal moon at 1 degree Taurus, and so of course the full moon was near. Well, let me see. Was it a full moon? It was a brand new full moon in Taurus, wasn't it? So
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have Uranus conjunct the moon in your natal chart, and then the full moon was right there. It's in the house of communications, and being that it's the transit of Uranus, it's also entrepreneurship. So let me see, Taurus is money, and I'm just giving the main things that it's about, but Taurus can be about growing things of the earth. And so all that energy and communications, it's a Gemini area of the sky. So it's about expressing yourself, and it can be about expressing yourself around the home through a garden. I would honestly say gardening or growing a food garden would be something that would really manifest that energy very clearly. It's about healthy eating, making sure that your body is getting what it needs to generate a healthy life. And let me see, I'm just trying to cross-reference a few of the ideas around that, but you get the idea. It's about being independent, being like independent gardening, getting your food source from the ground, and also maybe writing a book or having a podcast about the process of doing that. It could be homesteading. It could be anything in the realm of healthy living and beauty products. Taurus is ruled by Venus. It's beauty. And so beauty, health, money, love, any of that, growing any of that and doing it autonomously on your own, and expressing it, bringing it out to the world. Uranus rules technology and broadcasting, so it can also be about getting a podcast around healthy living. So, and then, go ahead.
You were talking the moon in Cancer now this week and just around home and family. Can I give you my my boyfriend's chart?
Yeah, I can look at it real quick. We have a lot of callers today, but I will take a peek at his. So if you want to, let me just put in, let's see, Jennifer EF. And he's under your area code, so I can find you again. And what birthday is his?
May 7th, 1986.
Okay. Oh, my. So he's a Taurus, too. Wow.
Yeah. And we actually, our moons are conjunct each other.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, powerful for you two. Yeah. So do you know what time or where?
Yep, 2:19 p.m.
Okay.
And that's in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin.
What is it?
Wisconsin Rapids.
Oh, Wisconsin Rapids. I'm sorry, you broke up there. Or it was faint. I couldn't hear what you said. Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. Okay, 2:19 you said?
Yep, p.m.
p.m. Oh, darn. Why little glitchy. Thank goodness I've got a few positive aspects in my chart because the Mercury is squaring my natal Mercury, and I don't anticipate a good week next week because that's going to be a square to my Mercury. So hopefully my show will go well, but we'll anticipate problems.
I called a couple of weeks ago and I didn't hear anything.
Oh, really? Yeah, I figured that out. It was a problem with my Chrome browser. I had adjusted it for my personal interest, and it was something. I just we went to the defaults, and it cleared that up, but it's still telling me that I'm not secure on Blog Talk. And I talked to them and they said, oh no, you're secure. Our site is secure. So it's just a Chrome problem. Anyway, so boyfriend here. Okay, so what would you like to know real quick?
I guess anything you see. I've never actually had anybody read our charts together.
Anything you see tends to be very broad, and I can go on and on. As people who listen to me, I'm very tangential. So, okay. You want to know what happened with that? Again, for you, the two of you having a moon conjunct is really awesome because that means that you think of life in home as the same. Security is paramount for you because Taurus is about security and Cancer, which is ruled by the moon, is about security. So you're very conscientious of having money and having a solid foundation before you do anything. His Mercury is at 0 Taurus. His North Node's at 0 Taurus. And so he's got a lot of energy around how he thinks about things and how he feels about things, and a major shift around, it's a fated shift, and he also has Pluto at 5 degrees Scorpio. So there's a lot of energy around major shifts for him, but he brings that shift to you because the opposition of his Pluto to your moon means that there's going to be a shift around, well, in your chart, it falls into education and understanding and higher spirituality. So he shifts your view of spirituality. Having Pluto in early degrees of Scorpio retrograde can be, honestly, I'm trying to think of like how it's going to directly affect you. He's got insight into spirituality, but he may be running away from what he sees, and there's a value that he hasn't necessarily gotten from the visceral side of that energy, that he's more, he can be more mental and not in the actually, that's what it is. He can be more codependent and reliant on other people for information, and he has to understand that his own intuition is accurate and value it, because he's not valuing it. He's relying on other people to value what he senses. Like he has to have validation for what he senses, and he needs to start understanding his own motivations for that, and his own as the intuition comes through, he needs to recognize it as his own and not keep looking for other people. And not necessarily that he's saying, hey, what do you think? But he can be more codependent on other people's energy when it comes to making decisions. And he needs to really value that, because there's so much in Scorpio right now, and Venus is right there. Venus is on its south node. I mean, he's really going through an understanding of values around relationships. That's the focus of this energy, because Scorpio is value of self to others, and Taurus is value of self as you see yourself. And all that energy is right there. So there's what's going on with him has to do with spirituality and also travel. There's opportunity. Well, there's always opportunity for travel with Scorpio energy for you. And I'm not sure what his rising sign is based. Oh, no, Virgo. You told me. So it's Virgo. Yeah. I was going to say, most people just say, no, I don't know what time, but you gave me the specific time, so I forgot. Your Jupiter's on his rising sign. So you're giving him the power to be self-motivated and trust the self. Jupiter is about self-interest. And so having your Jupiter in his first house is showing him that he is a very strong individual, and he can really promote his own ideas through health and healthy living, through understanding people on an intuitive level. That's what you do for him. Okay. And I would honestly encourage you to get a private reading with me, because I have so much information I can give you, but I can't really on air, because I have other people who really want to get in today. There's a lot of people in line today. So it's the Taurus energy for him. Let me just look here real quick and line him up with what's going on in the sky and see where it falls for him. So it's in commitment. It's in his house of commitment, and it's about the material goods and feeling like he is independent enough to support a family probably, or be there for the family. He has Saturn at the last degrees of home and family, which means he's moving away from family of origin into his own family. Saturn will be in House of Children this coming year. If you don't have kids, he may be thinking about having kids. So
okay,
that's a quick synopsis for you. All right. And if you want to know more, get into the nitty gritty, look me up online. Okay. Take care, Jennifer.
Okay.
Good talking
thank you
to you.
so much.
All right. You're
too.
welcome. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Okay, let's go back. Michelle. Michelle, are you there? Okay. She's probably not going to get a reading today, so let's try 213. Hi, 213. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you
Good morning.
so much for taking the call. Hi.
My pleasure. Who is this?
This is Marie. I haven't spoken to you in about 4 years now.
Oh, my God. How long?
About 4 years.
Oh, my goodness. That's a while. Okay, so let me see. You might not be in this batch of people because I switched computers since then, so I think you're going to have to give me your birth information again, and if that's okay. Okay.
No problem.
Hang on.
10/8/53.
Okay. You said 1953?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. Do you know what time?
Yes, 6:35 a.m.
Okay. And where were you born?
New Orleans.
Okay. What can I do for you?
Just like to know what is coming up for me. How can I prepare?
Okay. Let's just look at what's going on in your world. Okay, so you have a 22-degree Libra rising. You have 4 planets in Libra, Sun, Moon, Neptune, and Saturn. And Neptune and Saturn are in your first house, and Sun and Moon are in your 12th house. And those will be in conjunct Uranus in Taurus, because by sign they are in conjunct. And so right now Uranus is in your house of marriage, which means there is a shift around how you see the dynamic with your partner. Are you married? Hello, Marie? Are you there?
I'm not.
Oh, there you are. Are you married? Okay.
I'm not.
So the dynamic with your partner, you're wanting to stick up for yourself more. You're wanting to have your perspective validated. And if your partner doesn't validate it, you're going to validate it on your own. And it's kind of like the shift is, this is the way it is. This is my truth. You need to get on board with it, and I have a say. But what's going on, of course, with Uranus retrograde is you're going back into the last degrees of Aries, and you have 22 Aries ruling your marriage house. So you've had it for a while. Uranus has been going through Aries for probably 4 years for you, or maybe even like 2. It takes about 8 years to go through a sign. So, 22 degrees is about a third of that. So 2.5 to 3 years you've had Uranus in your house of marriage. So it means that there's been an ongoing slow burn of like, I am not necessarily feeling this old energy. I don't want to have you tell me what to do anymore. And you're in a more receptive mode to growing something new and having a shift. So if your partner is in positive aspect to that Taurus energy, they'll be feeling it as well. And there may be a tandem shift, but there's a lot of difficult your first house and all your Libra energy with that Uranus. It means that there's friction going on. I would say bluntly, there's friction going on in the marriage about independence and getting your perspective validated. And if you're not getting it, you're looking to have that. So you're doing a major shift ideologically about what you expect in a marriage and in a partnership. All the Scorpio falls in your first house. That's commitment. So Sun and Venus, and we recently had Jupiter and Mercury all in your first house, and now it's just early on into your house of money, and that's also couples. So it's about commitment, and you're committed to yourself, and you're committed to your vision of the relationship. So it's a time of like, hey, is this something that I am really getting value from now? So that's a huge part of what you're doing. And then the moon going into your midheaven, and you also have Uranus up there. It's going to really be about having a energy associated in career with the home. And you have Pluto also in Capricorn going into your house of home and family in the next year, year and a half. So it's going to be back and forth over that cusp, and that means that there's some major shifts going on around the family life as well. So anyway, does that help? And you have Mars leaving the house of home and family, also in Aquarius going into romance. And that's also an energy that wraps up an old story around the family life. And again, it's Aquarius, so it's about autonomy and going on your own path. So does that make sense to you?
Well, it helps a bit, but I live with my mother. I'm not currently in a relationship, but there is tension, has been.
Well, also the mother situation is your home and family, the fourth house. So Mars leaving that is Mars in Aquarius wants to be independent. You've gone through the whole being the responsible daughter, Mars and Capricorn, and that's, owning the relationship with mom. And then there's Saturn in Capricorn there too. So there's still a lot of thought around what that structure is and being able to express what you're feeling and needing in the dynamic of the authority situation. So mom would fall under authority, our parents, it's the elderly. But Mars's children, it's Aries energy, it's wanting to go and do your thing, and then Aquarius is about autonomy and being on your own. So there is a lot of energy in your chart around moving past some of this dynamic that you have in the home life and moving on to something more creative and playful. And by mid-November, it'll definitely be about wanting to connect to your creative, artistic side. That's Mars and Pisces in the fifth house is about that. Okay?
All right. Well, that's a start.
It's a start. So anyway, I wish you the best, and, let me know how it goes. Okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye. And that's the show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we will be back next week, and we're going to be talking probably politics. So if you don't like politics and you don't want to talk about it, it's probably not the show. But I can guarantee you, being Tuesday, Election Day, and all that Scorpio energy, we are going to be talking politics. So anyway, we'll see you next week, and take care. Bye. Thanks for stopping by AstroEnergy this week. If you would like to get a hold of Shelley Overton, you can get her at astrologerangel.com, on Facebook at AstroEnergy or Astrologer Angel. The music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com with additional music by Ironwood Rain. Check them out on the net at ironwoodrain.com. To subscribe, please click the picture of Shelley on the right or the red button below.